Okay, so let's talk about the solar industry. It's absolutely exploding, right? But with that boom comes one massive challenge every single company is facing. How do you stand out? How do you actually connect with customers when they've got so many options? It's a tough nut to crack, for sure. But the answer, well, it might be a lot simpler and way more visual than you'd think. So let's get into it.
Because really, when you strip everything else away, it all comes down to this one simple question. You're not just selling solar panels and inverters. I mean, that's the product, sure, but what you're really selling is confidence. You're selling peace of mind for what is a huge financial decision for most people. So the real question is, how on earth do you sell trust?
And look, let's be super clear about this. For any solar business out there, whether you're in Australia, the UK, the US, wherever, getting the answer to that question right isn't just a nice to have. It's literally the difference between thriving and, well, not making it.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the crowded solar market. We need to really understand the challenge that everyone's facing right now.
So here's the kind of weird paradox we're seeing. On one hand, the market is absolutely booming, which sounds like amazing news, right? But the flip side of all that growth is a ton of new competition. And for the average customer, it's just confusing. They're completely overwhelmed with choices.
And this really hits the nail on the head when you think about it from the customer's perspective. I mean, put yourself in their shoes for a second. This is not like buying a new toaster, right? It's a massive, long-term investment in their home. So of course they need to feel absolutely 100% confident in the company they're about to hand over their money to.
Right. And all that uncertainty, all that hesitation, it creates this thing we can call the customer trust gap. And honestly, this gap, it's the single biggest hurdle any solar company has to overcome.
So what is this trust gap, really? Well, think of it like this. It's that huge, kind of scary space between a potential customer thinking, solar seems like a good idea, and them having the actual confidence to sign on the dotted line. And that space in between, it's just filled with doubt, uncertainty, and a million little what if questions.
Now look, don't get me wrong. Your website, your brochures, all that written stuff is important. It has its place. But let's be real for a second. Can a wall of text really build the kind of deep personal trust you need to bridge that gap? For a purchase this significant, it's a huge ask.
So if text isn't enough, how do you bridge that gap? Well, this is where something I like to call the digital handshake comes in. It's all about using a tool that can create that genuine personal connection almost instantly.
I mean, just think about the superpowers that video has. All of a sudden, you can build trust so much faster because people are seeing real faces, real people, real projects. You can take all the complicated solar stuff and just make it simple. And maybe the most important part, you create an emotional connection, something that words on a page just can't compete with.
Here's a perfect example, explaining the installation process. If you write it all out, it can sound super technical, a little intimidating, maybe even scary for a homeowner. But now imagine a short, simple video that just walks them through it. Step 1, consultation. Step 2, installation day. Step 3, we flick the switch. And step 4, you start saving money. See? Suddenly, the whole process feels totally clear, super manageable, and honestly, kind of exciting.
Okay, so building trust is all well and good, but let's talk brass tacks. Does it actually lead to business results? Let's look at how we go from just getting clicks to actually getting conversions. So first off, let's talk about something like Google. Here's a little inside baseball for you. Search engines absolutely love engaging content. And why is that? Well, it's simple. When people watch your videos, they stay on your website longer. And that longer dwell time sends a huge, flashing signal to Google that says, hey, this site is valuable. And that, in turn, can give your search rankings a major boost. And it's not just about your website either. When you use the right keywords in your video titles and descriptions, you pull in super targeted traffic from people actively searching for solar. And on social media, come on, we all know visual content is king. It's what keeps your brand top of mind for the exact people you want to reach. And just think about the massive difference in impact here. A written review on a website, yeah, it's okay. Someone might skim it. It's passive. But a video of a real happy customer talking about their experience, that creates an active, emotional connection. You stop just reading facts and you start feeling their story. Because really, it all boils down to this. Seeing a real person standing in their own home, genuinely thrilled with their new solar system, that is probably the most powerful and persuasive social proof you could ever ask for. People trust what they can see with their own two eyes.
So what's the big takeaway here? What does all of this add up to? Well, it's about way more than just another marketing tactic. It's about building a genuine, long-term competitive edge.
I mean, just look at the difference it makes. In this huge sea of competitors who are all basically saying the same thing with text, the company that embraces video doesn't just get a small advantage. They get a massive boost in visibility. You literally stand head and shoulders above the noise.
And here's the bottom line, folks. This market is not slowing down anytime soon. So by adapting your strategy now, by leaning into a more human, more visual approach, you're not just playing for today's customers, you're setting yourself up for real, sustainable growth for years and years to come. So I guess we'll just leave you with this one final thought. In an industry where trust is everything, I mean absolutely everything, hiding behind a wall of text just isn't gonna cut it anymore. The real question isn't if you should be showing your face, it's how can you possibly afford not to?